good evening, Speed Gaming and Final Fantasy Randomizer fans. Welcome to our Spring Tournament 2022 Kraken Games match of Pod H between Chanigan and Cheezinator. I am Hate the 13th, joined in the booth by Shadow Mr. T 241. How you doing today, Shadow?
I'm doing fine, Hate. Hopefully we have a very good match tonight.
I'm hoping so, because, well, Chanigan's already beaten me down in this pod. I'm in the same pod. Cheezinator, I think we're going to be racing on Sunday. And, yeah, I'm hoping to, do a little bit of scouting on Cheese here, see what I can, expect, what I can get ready for. And we actually have a party draft tonight where the runners are, well, drafting their parties individually. I believe that Cheezinator opted to take the middle two picks, whilst Chanigan got the first and last pick. And as you can see, we're at party creation now, so we're going to see what they actually drafted here right quick. And as a bonus, we're actually getting to take a look and see what the bonuses and malices are. Huh. White Mage could actually be kind of useful having that thief weapons, especially since the White Mage has the harm all flag enabled as long as it comes from a White Mage in itself. But, well, we'll see what they pick.
Yeah, White Mage Harm is definitely a savior, providing it gets it.
Yeah, very much so. I have become a big fan of the White Mage Harm all flag. Because I also like having access to the White Mage spell list and as a whole, so I'm a little biased.
Yeah, because Red Mages are kind of limited on what they learn White Magic, and it seems like most of the time it just doesn't pan out.
Yeah, far too often I've seen, like, oh look, Life 2, Level 1, Slot 4, White Mage locked. Curses.
Well, at least that one's promotion unlocked in Slot 4. Slot 2 in Level 1, where it's like, well, I'm not getting this for my Red Mage at all.
Yeah, true fact, true fact. Alright, so it looks like Chanigan chose Fighter for the first pick. And Cheese is going Thief. And Black Belt. Huh.
This is a party.
So we're seeing a pretty melee-heavy party here. This may be something Chanigan is a little bit more comfortable with, given that I know at least one of the races that he's had was all forced melee, which was a thing.
Wait, all force melee. Wait, was that the one I was doing comms on? I feel like
maybe that was actually my race with him, but we're gonna, leave the details off of that just in case somebody wants to go and track that one down and watch it later. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. Spoil it more. Alright, well, the racers have their parties together, and we are going to be off here in about 10 seconds or so.
Yep, what will one magic have in store for us? And since we only got the Red Mage for magic, this could get interesting.
Very much so. And let's see, White Magic, we've got Heal 3 and we've got Wall, though that Heal 3 is unlearnable, and we've got Fast and Temper. Okay, well, set for at least the buffing Black Magic.
Well, some stop just to paralyze things. I'd still pick up that wall over it.
Yeah, I would definitely go for the fast, the temper, and the wall for my selections there. So for those who are not familiar with the Spring Tournament 2022 flags, it's, you know, kind of similar to what we had last year, though it's a little bit more difficult. We have 2 loose items somewhere in the world that cannot be in incentivized dungeons. We start with the bridge, and yeah, that's kind of the big things of it. The other really big thing, aside from the White Mage Arm flag, is that the Thief has an 80 agility buff built in. So Thief gets to be a bit of a dodge tank.
Yep, very useful, especially, you know, you just throw the Thief up front and just let it run.
Yeah, not just let it run, but, you know, take advantage of that high agility to potentially get some first strikes.
What's a Bonehead Thunder? That was something.
Ew. That's never something you like to see. Alright, and we have Chanigan taking out Garland and Cheezinator right behind him. Let's see what we get from the Royals. Alright, we got the Adamant from the King, and the Princess gives us a boatlet.
And it looks like Chanigan's immediately heading over to turn in that Adamant.
I don't hate the play. And good old Smithy McBeardsmith gives us an Oxyale, so he crafted a really, really heavy scuba suit.
Very heavy. Also, the Hooray Dwarf is suffering on Chanigan's side, stuck saying hooray.
I'm gonna have a chat with that boy about that. Alright, and it looks like we got Cheezinator who decided to not hit up dwarves first, and ooh! Level 2 magic looked to be kinda nice there. Rack, Fire 3, Warp, ooh. And Invis 2 at level 2 white, so, I would probably not pick up the Fire 3, I'd grab the Warp, the Brack, and the Invis 2 on that red mage.
Yeah, except for the fact that Fire 3 is our first sweeper.
Well, crap. Well, you could also just rely on the finding the Ruse Bonk, or the Ruse Stick, because the Ruse Stick is going to be somewhere in the world. It is one of the incentivized items.
Rubes, you're being too kind.
And I will admit I blinked and missed what Bicky had for him. Well, I'll see it here soon enough from Chanigan. Bottle. Bicky apparently has a bit of a drinking problem, or had a drinking problem. Instead, he got a fairy.
There's so many references we could think of Bottle and Pirates.
And let's see, whilst they do have ice available, and they actually have warp, Cheezinator is actually, looks like he's opting to fade ice and heading right on down to Crescent Lake.
I mean, the Fire Streak would also be useful in Ice as well, though. With Red Mage, you know, being a bit slower to get charges, it's gonna... I don't know how many charges the Red Mage actually has at the moment.
Honestly, 1 is all you really need. More is just a boon.
Yeah, more is just in case you run into an unrunnable path that you need to fire down.
Yeah. Alright, oh boy, level 6 nuke in the unlearnable slot for the Red Wizard.
Actually, no, that's top slot. Top slot's learnable.
For some reason, I was thinking it was the other way around. Alright, and we've got the canal from the old men. So that's almost the way to get out of the sea.
You just need a boat.
And this encounter table is not being kind right now.
No, hey, unrunnable wizards. Wonderful.
Oh boy. Looks like Cheezinator's doing a little bit of a grind outside of Crescent Lake. Don't hate the idea. Try and get some XP, get a little bit of cash. Especially since you can actually buy heal pots at Crescent Lake.
Yep, as well as probably get a couple extra charges of level 2 magic.
Chanigan opting to not actually to not grab all 3 of those chests, just heading right on down. And oh boy, more wizards on the spike tile.
Well, at least they're runnable this time.
And we've got a key out of ice. It does open up a few other things, specifically all of the key lock chests, which all of them could have one of those 2 loose items.
Oh boy. Oh no.
Oh my.
Okay, I don't know what's with the Eye Mages and the Wraith's rolling lightning spells, but they seem to do so a lot.
Far too often. Let's just take that key away.
I have no clue if Cheese has checked level 3 magic.
I'd be willing to bet he probably at least peeped it. We'll see if he... Yeah, if he's peeping level 4 magic, he probably peeped level 3 magic. Alright, so we got Zap and Ice 3 at level 4. Ooh, Cure 4 at level... Oh, wait, Cure 4 slot 2.
Give me a second. Where's my sheet? Yeah, no, level 2 is not learnable, even by Red Wizard.
Yeah. Alright.
I thankfully keep a sheet of this open, because I'm terrible with Red Mage missions.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I am too. I tend to just like, okay, hey, can I buy this one? Is he raising his arms? No? Alright, well, crap.
Yeah, I try to note down, like, what I can, and just, you know...
I'd probably be a bit of a better player if I actually, you know, remembered those things, but, I've heard of memory. What was I talking about?
I don't know, we got, Cheezinator found a Flame Mail +2 in a Link chest from up
Well, that's
top.
kind of good.
That's good.
Ooh, Chanigan making the risky early volcano play. I'm wondering if he's going to dip in, hit the top floor, and nope out, or if he's actually going to, you know, make an attempt at this.
I don't know, I've been told by people don't double dip dungeons, so I tend not to go in somewhere until I know I can do something there.
Yeah, very much so. That's my same thought on this. Is like, okay, if you can't clear it, don't go it. Though, I mean, I also can understand the going in, hitting up Volcano Armory, because it's a lot of chests in a fairly small area, and you can get some good, easy cash out of it. our bones have crack. That's disgusting.
Oh, and those show up in Ice Cave as well.
Those show up in far too many places. Ooh, Katana +2 though, so you know if he oh, that's a good spike tile to find. Up until they start doing Invis 2, never mind. Wait, fire elementals with cremate? What the devil is this?
I don't know, there's a crown marsh!
Is this even randomized?
Yeah, it really is it, considering there's a crown in marsh. What's next? The crown leads to the crystal, which then leads to the, herb?
You know, honestly, as long as they don't get this ship, I'm fine with the quest chain taking them all over hither and thither and yon. Ah, curses. Shortcutter right to the herb from Astos.
Yeah, we already know where the key is, though, so it can't even be completely vanilla.
You're gonna need some more tempers on that black belt if you want him actually doing some damage there, Cheezinator. That's better. It seems like Chanigan might actually be leaning into fighter strats at this point, based off the fact that he's still checking armor shops and all the like.
I mean, that's what I would do. That's because, I always tend to find a good spot to sit down in the black belt too late to really make it be good. Might as well bone down the floor and
I understand that one.
XP.
I'm wondering if Cheese is actually going to res the other two members of his party, or if he's just going to run Red Mage Black Belt for now.
That's a good question.
Crystal from Prince after Herb from Astos. It's a little bit of French vanilla.
Almost. Other than the fact that the key's nowhere to be found in that area. And Gargoyles have frost. Oh boy.
Gargoyles. Ugh. They're almost annoying as Argoyles. Ooh, though, she's picked up a rub axe somewhere along the line.
Huh. Where that was.
I have no idea. I didn't see. I think probably somewhere in Marsh, though, based off of the fact that, well, he's got it. I have to wonder if Cheese is going to be heading back to Ice Cave or if he's going to be heading to Volcano. I'm thinking probably Ice Cave because it's a known incentive location, and yep.
But Cheese hasn't been to Ice yet, has he?
Nope, he has not. He decided to skip over Ice when he was passing by the first time, which I can agree with. Oh, core.
That pack's just nasty there, because you got the normal bones of thunder, and then you got the R bones of crack.
Yeah, that's just... Oh man, that is a big old ball of pain.
Hashtag never Marsh.
Prefer Marsh over Ice, honestly, but, you know, that's because the things in Marsh are generally at least a little lower level.
True. Question is, we have not seen what the...
Right, so
we've not seen Crystal yet, have we?
No, we have not yet. And it looks like Chanigan is doing the, alright, well, I at least remember there was a giant pile of cash here. Okay, so those Wizhags, I think they had glance, or one of them had glance. Either way, it's not pleasant.
Either way, there's someone who or was turned to stone.
Ooh, and Chanigan doing the poison walk. At least he remembered, wait, poison walk, that sound bad. Ooh, right, and let's see if Cheezinator survives any better against this, horrible, horrible pack. The answer is no.
Yeah. Tends to be kind of everyone on the floor.
Yeah. And I definitely agree with Cheese's decision to move that Harm 2 bonk to the black belt and let the red mage cast spells direct. And get some good turnover on this pack of undead. And getting a good high roll on it. And of course getting the FFR special of, oh look, there is one enemy left, time to run.
Yep, that's always good.
And down goes Astos for Chanigan, netting him that herb. Looks like Cheezinator's trying to burn off some encounters on a floor that doesn't tend to get those horrible undead packs. It's a smart move. Oh, sorcerers have cremate as well. That's less than pleasant to find, especially because those can come in somewhat larger packs.
Wait, what else had cremate?
Sorcerers.
Oh yeah.
Huh. Frostwolves on an ice cave. That's an oddity. And Chanigan accidentally opening up that bottle and letting the fairy free. Hopefully he remembers that he has the bottle, or had the bottle, and doesn't, forget to check with the fairy.
Yeah, looks like, well,
Not like I don't, or like I have experience with that. Nope, never. Never done that myself.
totally not.
Nope.
I probably have. Maybe. I don't know.
Alright, looks like Cheese is checking those spike tiles, finding nothing much so far that's viable. Chanigan also trying to burn off some encounters, it looks like, and there's the key for Cheese. Oh, apparently Exit was at level 3 and Red Mage learnable. And Cheese is like, alright, great, I'm not gonna bother checking the rest of the spike tiles in here. I'm out, this place sucks.
Can't blame him.
Not in the least. And looks like Cheese is heading up to start picking some locks, or, well, not picking some locks, I forgot. Thief lock picking is actually off, but heading up to start, kicking some doors down after he politely unlocks them and stealing everything that's not tied down.
I was about to say, if thieves had a lock picking, they'd be even more of a definite pick than they already kind of are.
Yeah, no, I love the thief lock picking flag, but yeah, I do have to agree that it would make them a little too strong in this instance. Chanigan also pulling that same exit idea and then just noping right out of there.
Well, at least now we'll finally find out what the crystal turns into. Which honestly, at this point, it's like only like what TNT floater or boat at this point.
Yeah, most likely. It could be the ruby with a boat loose somewhere. Oh, well, floater.
Oh well. It's like we're getting the airboat.
And she's just immediately turning around like, I am not gonna go bother opening up anything else right now. I'm gonna go get my skyship.
Can't really blame him.
Not in the least. And Chanigan making that same decision. Alright, so it seems like there is a bit of a hero run off the hard reset. I had about a 16-second count for Chanigan whilst he was moving at full pace, so yeah, that does lead to the ability to get some good encounter manipulation on, so you can avoid a lot of crap.
Yep. I gotta get better at doing that stuff.
Alright, 21 minutes, and both people are in the air, and both people are heading right on down to check and see what the fairy had.
Yep. Encounter manipulating is very handy. Sometimes hard to do when you don't have the game audio on for yourself.
Yeah, I tend to do my encounter manipulation not by the game audio, but by a count, just a, they like 1,000, 2, 1,000 that I keep to myself while I'm counting it out.
Yeah, that's what I roughly do. I'm usually off by like 10 or 20 steps, though.
Alright, slab from the fairy. Do you want to fetch quest? I heard you want to fetch quest.
Ooh, apparently gold +4s were for sale somewhere.
That's quite a convenient one. Alright, and let's see what the Old Man in the Cave has. We've got a crowbar from the Old Man in the Cave tonight.
Okay, how many things have been vanilla now?
That's the second vanilla thing. Now that does also open up the ability to check and see what the incentive item in Earth Cave is, because the incentivized item in Earth Cave is after gating, which means it's going to be on Earth 4. Oh, alright, and we got a ribbon out of the Cardia Islands incentive chest, and then the ship out of the chest right next to it, so yay. It's XP, that's as much as I can say for that.
It's also one of the loose out of the way as well.
Yep. Cheezinator heading on down to rob the dwarves out of everything they hold dear and have tried to keep safe from everyone. Getting some dragon armor, +3, that'll be a good one. Chanigan a Vorpal's sword out of one of the other Cardia Island chests. And dwarves not really paying out except for that dragon armor.
Yeah. I think it's just a neutral Vorpal too, so it's basically still a butter knife.
Yeah, I mean, it's technically better than nothing. I can't say how much better than nothing in a lot of instances. Why, yes, I am team, not Vorpal. And we got the second loose, the cube, in Corneria.
As well as the other +2 katana.
Nice. And yes, Cheezinator has translated his slab already.
Is that another ribbon in Astos' closet?
That is a good find for him there.
Yeah, his seed seems a bit too free.
Yeah, we'll see if it rolls to be trashy elsewhere. Alright, well, that's 2 ribbons for Chanigan. Cheezinator has not yet got that other ribbon. I'm not sure if he will be going to get that other ribbon.
I'm trying to remember where the first one was.
The first one was in the incentive chest in Cardia Islands. At this point, honestly, I'm Either Cheezinator's going to lean hard into the black belt, or he's going to start hunting for the tail. I see Cheezinator went to the same flying school that I did, the I'm going to try and land on the castle school.
Yeah, that's a great flying school. Oh, an opal bracelet. That's not bad.
Cheerio out of the elf closet. That's not bad at all, yeah. And Chanigan just trailing right behind where Cheese has gone so far. Oh, and Cheese is about to get the ship and get that other ribbon, too. And Chanigan's about to get the cube, so they're gonna be pretty much tied up on things, though Cheezinator has hit up Sarda, and I do not believe Chanigan has quite yet.
I don't believe so either.
Alright, given that Cheezinator is still actually opening boxes after having gotten both loose, I think he might not be looking for, or leaning into the black belt strats. I think he might actually be leaning towards fighter or ninja strats.
I mean, +2 katana is not bad. It's better than the Vorpal.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Now
And Chanigan and Cheezinator both landing to go to Lefane.
I'm just trying to remember what the blur things on that, or on the thief were.
Let's see. The thief had +15 agility, the ability to wear a black shirt, and -10 MDef. Loot from the Lefanians. You know, I'm glad that they have different sprites, otherwise I'd be worried that we had the same stream up twice.
Same.
And yes, to answer the question, this was a draft. Chanigan had the first pick, chose a fighter, excuse me, Cheezinator chose a thief and a black belt, and Chanigan chose red mage.
I went red mage then fighter, how we are. I mean, something, it's a party.
Yeah. Alright, and Chime for sale in on rack for 13k. Well, 12k.
Sky.
Yep, sky. And Chanigan actually hitting up Waterfall. Gonna check and see what's here first. And Cheese is like, you know what? I'm not gonna go deal with this. I'm gonna go somewhere else where things are friendly and they won't kick me in the teeth. Maybe.
Yeah, it looks like he's saying the Earth. Oh, that's wonderful. The Frost Dragons also have thunder and lightning too.
Thunder and lightning, very, very frightening to me.
So true.
Alright, ooh, boy, that blue D is hitting hard. Alright, so the Hall of Giants, not entirely too friendly, it seems.
Yeah, it turned into a Hall of Dragons.
Which, you know, if they were kinder, great! These guys not so kind, though. Chanigan running into some Paralisks, which... Ooh, wrong eye. Yeah, Paralisks, which had some kind of a stun on them. I didn't notice what it was, because I blinked.
fine. Jerkbirds are being jerkbirds.
Pretty much. At least they're not turning into stone.
Like, yeah. What is it with bird enemies in like Final Fantasy and RPGs and doing that?
Big jerkbird's gonna jerk.
Yep. I mean, there's definitely another name I would call them, but
Yeah. Oh man. This is why that frost, even though it doesn't do a whole lot of damage, is just an annoyance to see on those gargoyles, because it will just tear apart your party slowly but surely. Alright, Ruby from the robot.
I mean, those gargoyles also. And there's the third ribbon.
Sweet Christmas.
But yeah, the gargoyles also have glance.
Ew. Chanigan opting not to check on Rack, which could cause a bit of a problem for him, because, well, that means he didn't pick up the chime, and if the well, no, he's got the Oxyale, so never mind. For a second there, I was thinking that the Oxyale was, not found yet, then I remembered, wait, no, it has been.
Oh, there seems to be a blue kern on Cheezinator's screen. Or was.
Lies and slander. Was not there. Did not see it.
Well, it was burnt to a crisp.
Chanigan probably about to go check that Hall of Giants and find the Hall of Pain.
Well, at least not like the actual Hall of Dragons flying and finding Tiamat.
Yeah, I almost would rather deal with that, because then you have a chance of running into those lovely, lovely gas dragons. Alright, and we got the tail out of Earth Cave. Alright, yep, Chanigan got those dragons, like, nope, I'm out.
So I feel like Cheezinator forgot that the Eye Mages had lightning too.
Well, he's got the last two people standing wearing ribbons, so he's not as concerned about them right now. Time to shotgun some heal pots and get the heck out of there.
Yep, yep, and we apparently killed a rat while we were in there as well.
Well, you know. Alright, looks like Chanigan opted to not put the ribbon on his thief, because, well, the lightning too from those images, that did had a bad time.
I don't get why it's a rat's tail, though.
Yeah, everybody else was fine. That was what he was caring about, it looks like. Chanigan doing the same check I generally do is like, alright, I'm going to check the spike tile right here, because more often than not, this chest is paid out for me. And then seeing, oh god, it's the wrong eye, I'm out.
And really not paying out.
Yeah, it's a risky play, but it's also a way you can get that spike tile checked without really going too far out of the way. Hey, Mr. Vampire, can you smell this helmet and tell me if you think it smells bad? Or has it gone off?
You know, Cheezinator's in kind of a bit of an annoying fight.
Unrunnables, gotta love them. Wait, no, absolutely not. Gotta hate them.
At least it doesn't seem like any of the enemies in this pack really have anything.
They've got something. They've got the power of wasting your time. Especially since Cheese seems to be a little bit low on spells and has that red mage just slapping things. Whereas that rub axe is doing work, which that rub axe is the light axe, just the spells were shuffled around for things. The only two spells that we know that are going to be guaranteed to show up on items, there's going to be a Ruse Stick, there's going to be a Power Bonk.
Actually, I just realized, like, what is actually the setting for that right now set to for, like, the item magic, considering I've only ever seen, like, you know, Brack, Ice, level 2 elementals, and, Fast Temper.
Item magic is shuffled with the item magic pool set to, quote, tournament.
Ah, okay.
Alright, Fast coming out for Cheese after the swing has gone, because of course, why not? And once again, Temper in the same order. Lich with Blizzard, ribbons are fine for that, though.
Oh.
And down goes Lich.
Wait, there's a boss there?
Well, technically. And we got the first orb lit at 37:05. Chanigan running into that same annoying pack, but at least he's got the Bane Helm and, spell charges to work with still. And Cheezinator post-haste going to turn in his paperwork? Rat tail paperwork? I don't know. Bahamut's got some weird tastes.
Yeah, really. Like a rat's tail? Like, It's gotta be like the biggest rat you've ever damn seen, then.
Yep. Alright, Ninja getting some gear on him. Excuse me, and the fighter, well, Knight now getting some better gear there. Katana, Vorpal. Here you go, Red Mage. You can have a weapon now. Alright, and Cheese making that sky play.
Bitch, you don't have the cube mark now.
It's on the tracker page I'm on actually shows it, but I must have misclicked. I refresh that. There we go.
So apparently we found a ruby somewhere.
Yeah, the ruby came from the waterfall.
Ah.
Which, because both loose have been found, the ruby at this point is a womp. The only good thing that came out of waterfall was the third ribbon. Chanigan's having a little bit of a longer Lich fight because he is not swinging that rub axe, which hurts undead, so it's taking a little bit longer. He's having to temper a bit more, but down goes Lich for Chanigan. Thinking Chanigan's probably going to be heading to go promote, and...
Hey, look, an Agama.
Ooh. A little late for it, though, but,
And Black Belt's also down the floor.
Or is Chanigan going... No, Chanigan's going to go to Ordeals. Check Spike Tiles, maybe? Try and do a grind before he promotes? Who knows?
Yeah, it looks like Cheezinator's taking some Agama fights.
I can't blame him. This is one of the safe grind tiles because it's right next to a door and it's on a wall, so you can just go in there, get it, and go. Yeah, this is just a spike tile check for Chanigan, it seems, because otherwise there's no real reason to go into this room that he went into. It's a bit of a shame that Chanigan didn't actually grab that chime whilst he was near on-rack, because that would have given him access to that Agama. Well, that would have worked for his for his black belt quite well.
Very much so. Alright, I feel like we had this conversation, but actually no, I won't bring it up.
Another Bane helm. And you get a Bane helm, and you get a Bane helm.
Me just trying to remember right now which dragon's weak to poison element.
Not the Gasties. Beyond that, I can't remember. I know Gasties are weak to ice. Obviously, red dragons and frost dragons are weak to their inverse element, but...
I think one of those two is actually weak to poison as well. I just don't remember which one it is.
Yeah, I have no clue on it. I have the memory that goes, alright, well, I know one thing about this enemy, that its weakness. That's going to be good enough for most of the time. I mean, honestly, the dragon that I know is weak to poison is Tiamat. And we got a Saber Bonk out of Ordeals. Not quite a Womp, but it's, yeah, not progression.
And there's TNT in Sky.
Which at this point, the TNT is going to lead to the Ruse Stick, if not be direct. Like, it's going to be directly to the Ruse Stick, actually, now that I'm looking at it.
Did Cheese go left?
Oh, probably. I'm one of the people who goes down into the left, or up into the left, or down to the right, up to the right, whatever. I go whatever direction I feel like that day. Honestly, if I could, I would go up, down, left, right, left, right. Just to really toy with people. But that would be slow.
Yeah, it would be. Also, looks like if I'm looking at it correctly, Cheese is on the bridge.
Yep. We going to check and see if we get a robot chicken sighting. And yeah, sandbag. I mean, you know, I suppose I technically could go up, down, left, right, but, you know, that would just put me right back at the start.
And no robot chicken.
Womp womp. Alright, Cheezinator pulling that carry. Dropping the wall on the ninja, making sure the ninja actually, you know, survives any magic that comes at it. Just in time so it doesn't get slept and wrecked. Chanigan heading on down to grab or checking to see the spike tiles in Volcano, because we know he's not going to grab anything else in here. I'm like relatively certain he's not going to. Okay, I was wrong.
Checking the greed checks by the look of it.
This is more than the greed checks. Okay, now close to the greed checks. And yeah, heading on down to check the Agama spikes. Yeah, he is looking hard for a grind for that black belt. Which, honestly, at this point, black belt doesn't seem like it's going to be the way to lean. And second orb lit for Cheese after dropping the dragon. Time to go chase down some squid. And here we see an agama in the wild, in its natural habitat, right before it gets crushed. The agama's primary predator is that of the adventurer. Well, Carrie goes, yeah, no, you're not casting anything, Red Mage. You go away now.
Yeah, Red Mage is taking a nap.
Black Belt's just going for the saber strats. This is a little bit of a risky fight for Chanigan here, I do have to say. Four hits, 143. Gonna need a little bit more damage to hopefully survive this carry, because you gotta hope that... Okay, Chanigan's hope right now is that carry... Alright, well, never mind. There goes carry for Chanigan. And I fear I may have lit that orb prematurely. Ooh, that was a close one.
Heal. Okay.
Nah, Chanigan parked his airship in the right spot. That's the exact spot that when you pop out a volcano after killing Carrie, that's where you end up. At this point, my thoughts are, Chanigan, you have checked the places with most of the spike tiles. Give up on the black belt, go res the ninja, go promote. And he's read my mind 10 minutes ago. Nope, he's going to on-rack.
Yeah, we got a Kraken. Kraken has fun there.
Ooh.
And that looked like 1 damage out of that katana. Or was that the Vorpal?
That was the Vorpal. The Vorpal was doing Vorpal things. Though this Kraken is fairly absorbent. Ooh, boy. Wow, Kraken 1 has all of the skills.
Kraken 1, bringing out the stuff. And oh. And it's hitting kind of hard too.
You've done enough buffing now. You go away.
Has it done enough buffing, though, is the question.
Yeah, well, he's hitting for 200 points, so yeah, the answer was yes. 48 minutes, third orb lit. I do kind of give Cheezinator the advantage here, not just because he's got, one more orb lit and Chanigan still has to do Sky Palace, but his party seems to be a bit more solid in the fact that he's leaning into the people he's got weapons for, and he's not going to have to spend the time to grind. He's just doing a walking grind.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm going to have some words with Chanigan about that, not promoting to, use the katana that he has, and yeah, he knows better than that. Alright, there's Nuke for that red mage. Wizard. And the Cure 3 for kicks and giggles.
Yeah, I don't know how much use that Cure 3 is gonna get.
It's a safety thing. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Yeah.
Alright, Cheezinator gonna stomp his way on down to carry and kill himself a Merilith. And I think he's probably just gonna go straight into Topher after that, because I'm not sure of his levels. That's the thing that concerns me the most. But that Agama grind he did, whilst it was a little slow for a party grind, it's still useful.
I think he only had 2 characters up for it though. I think the ninja was still downed.
Alright, Cure 2 shirt, which was the... I couldn't tell if it was white shirt or black shirt. Excuse me. Alright, Chanigan, you have all this really good armor for a knight. Just lean into it.
That wouldn't have been that bad of a fight to take. There's like, what, 5 Wiz mummies there?
Yeah, I think he might be a little bit traumatized from seeing some of the other... Oh wait, no, that was a different racer who had the horrible, horrible Wiz mummies. Cheese bringing that ninja up just as an ablative meat shield.
Which I'm kind of shocked by. Like, top +2.
Yeah, I would be leaning harder into that ninja than I would the knight.
Like, knight obviously is backup, because you probably don't want to spend the time to grind a ninja up to have over 400.
Yeah, though. Alright, down goes Carry. And with that, Cheezinator has got his 4th orb lit. And CP heads right to Topher, or if he's gonna go try and get some more levels elsewhere.
Nope, he's crashing in Elfin Castle again.
Still can't land on the castle.
Maybe just put a landing pad up there for an airship.
I know, right? Almost accidentally bought Lightning 2 as opposed to Ice 3. That's that would have been a mistake. God, Chanigan on his way to Kraken gets jumped by a seafood party platter. Right, and at 52, let's call it 52:35, we're going to see our first person getting into Toph. Trying to get some Bane and some Brack on that Kraken. I don't hate the idea.
Yeah, I don't hate it either.
Broken into pieces.
Hey, the black belt's back up on Cheezinator's side.
Yeah, he stopped and rezzed him right before he came into Topher.
Probably he's just gonna be thrown in front of Kraken too.
Yeah, I would expect that black belt to be nothing more than a blade of meat shield at this point. Alright, now is Chanigan gonna do the rundown for that ruse stick? Cheezinator picked up a couple of levels and is like, I think I'm gonna walk these out.
Man, we got Jim.
The only place you can actually find Chimeras.
And you can't even get away from him.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Chimeras are actually pretty good XP.
That they are.
Well, and the black belt did what the black belt does at low levels, and just turned into another forced error.
Hey, look, Mel Slimes.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, he probably actually has passed through the loot plate. I must have missed that, because, yeah. If he were just taking the levels that he got and warping out, he would have exited out. So yeah, this is an actual dive attempt.
Oh yeah, that is true.
And here's Chanigan going, oh, wait, Agama, alright, I guess I'll grind here, which... Yeah, now it's time to try and get your party killed off.
Yeah. The only problem is Cheese is in Topher, but he can't know that.
I mean, given our bird's eye view, we know that leaning into the black belt, probably not the best idea. That being said, if this Topher is horrible, this does give Chanigan a chance.
That is true. Topher is the great equalizer.
Yep.
Only thing is we haven't seen an eye tile yet. It's probably one of the sea spikes.
Yeah, probably one of the ones somewhere on Sharknado floor.
Or I guess Keylock Marsh as well.
Yeah, that's true. I almost always forget those ones actually exist unless I'm actually using them. And Cheese just about to pull up to carry too. Bringing back the black belt and going, alright, you go there. Go up and take a punch, thanks. And looks like Cheese is leaning into that ninja, hitting a fast on it because that katana is going to do so much more work than the Vorpal will. Like 216 with not nearly as many crits, and there goes the black belt doing his job.
Question is, has he moved the saber bonk to the ninja, or is the fire still out of it?
Cheese did not grab the saber bonk.
Oh.
Cheese did not hit upward deals.
Understandable.
Alright, that's level 17 on that ninja, and carry 2 down. Ooh, unrunnable seafood party platter. That's no fun.
We got lightning 3 at least.
Lightning 3, ice 3. Alright, and things are, well, they're not exactly thin, but they're not too thick, it seems. Chanigan pulling up to level 27 on that black belt. I'm wondering if he'll stop at 32, given that he's got the 3 ribbons, and he's been looking for a grind for so long.
Yeah, that's a good question. When does he stop?
Though that being said, he is also still going to have to take out Tiamat, so he may go to 42 just to make sure that he can get through Tia 1 easily enough. It's a bit of a risk, though.
What's some encounters on Kraken's floor? We're not even for the first door.
Yeah, that was a less than unpleasant encounter set. Ooh, turn that ninja to stone. That's kind of an annoyance. I mean, I think that Cheese has softs. I hope he does.
That would be bad.
Yeah, that would be definitively unpleasant. Egads, this encounter table. Ugh.
Ninja's even having to bust out the ice 3 to help out.
Yep, using its 1 cast of Ice 3, its only spell that it learned. But combined with that and the Lightning 3, that should clear this all. Okay. Lobsters are thicker than sea trolls tonight.
Well, at least they don't have nuke.
That we're aware of.
True, that we're aware of. Nuke lobsters are the worst.
Seriously.
Actually, nearly anything that has nuke is the worst.
Yeah, nuke imps, those are funny, though. I mean, they're annoying at the start of a seed, but they are pretty funny.
Yeah, they're annoying at the start, but, you know, once you get past them, you're like, okay, we're fine.
Yep, and Chanigan is, as expected, gonna head right on up to 42 so that he can try and take out this Tiamat. Alright, and we got Kraken 2 coming out. We got an Invis 2 stack landing, trying to prevent Kraken 2 from doing Kraken 2 things. Instead, Kraken 2 does fire things. 1 hit, 70 damage from that ninja. 2 hits and 57 from that knight. This Kraken is a wee bit on the evasive side. And there comes the damage poison. 5 hits, 135. 2 hits, 64. This Kraken is thick.
Yeah, that's gonna be over 6 hits for like 200.
Yep, another 3 hits for 200. And there's a blaze. There's some more elemental damage. Ribbon's putting in work tonight. And there goes Kraken 2 doing Kraken 2 things of, I am going to tear you apart.
Well.
Yep, alright, Cheese is noping on out, and I'm wondering where he's gonna... Oh, he's gonna go get that Ruse Stick. That wipe is gonna put Chanigan back into closer contention. I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough, though, to cover the time of the grind. Still can't land the airship in the forest, Cheese. I know, it's tempting. I keep trying it myself.
I don't think an A Final Fantasy can even do that.
Does a black chocobo count as an airship?
Wait. So when can chocobos fly?
FF4.
I need to play through 4 at some point.
Alright, Chanigan has crested level 40, so this is going to be a kind of a closer one now. Though if that Tia 2, or if that Kraken 2 does those Kraken 2 things again, this is gonna be problematic. 41. Couple more fights, that puts him to 42, though at this point I probably would head on up and drop that Tiamat and just get 42 from that.
Yeah, probably.
Shotgun those heal pots.
Oh, hey, look, an eye.
An eye in the wild.
Oh, another eye.
Now, this is the one problem about having just the black belt is that, I mean, yeah, you'll scary a lot of things off, but black belts don't run. Alright, here comes that Lich 2 again, and I'm expecting that Lich 2 is going to go down in 2 rounds at most. Though, swing the Vorpal, it's going to be a little bit of a problem on her.
Yeah, Vorpal. Vorpal is Vorpal.
Robot chicken? Do we see a chicken? No, we see Hydras. Chicken?
Oh,
Nachos.
I still have
Chicken?
Oh. I have a package of Rios next to me.
No chicken tonight, kids.
Rip. I mean, this is 3 seats in a row I've commentated and had no chickens. I don't remember though.
10 hit, 733, Tia 1 still surviving. And not for long. Alright.
Yeah.
This will be Chanigan's Go mode.
Tiamat just seems to live through a single black belt punch hit, usually on average.
Vorpal doing Vorpal things. 4 hits for 86 damage. Eight hits, 141. 6 hits, 149, but that's enough. Alright, moving that Ruse Stick on down to his knight, and gonna launch off into it. And Chanigan at 105.10, I'm thinking? Yeah, 105.10, getting into Topher. Alright, 1 evade stack. Ah. looks like Bonk did his job and took a punch. That's at least 3. I think that's 5 evade stacks for that knight, so that knight's going to be safer from Kraken, though.
No, we're kind of missing.
Yeah, Kraken is also kind of safe from that knight right now. Temper will help if it hits, but... Oh, Paralyzed Ninja. Thankfully enough, that fighter, or that knight, is evade capped. And yeah, Chanigan, as long as he can get through these unrunnables, is gonna be catching up real quick-like. Though, given how evasive this Kraken 2 is, I don't think Chanigan has any lock either, that could be a bit of a problem for him. Alright, hey, actually dropped the Kraken this time.
Hooray.
Now to see if Tia 2 has anything nasty.
Well, first Twilight Fan Club.
Yeah. And Sorcerers of the Cremate. And more vampires.
Gosh, they're everywhere.
I know, right?
I don't know. Just like I thought maybe the vampire said Death Touch, but I don't think they do.
No. Alright, Tia 2, we got his swing from that ninja, 4 hits, 144. Quad X, ooh, thankfully enough, resisted. Got one ruse stack, which is, 2 stacks of evasion, 2 tempers, or 1 temper and a fast, 8 hits, 500 damage. 4 hits, 53 damage, lit 3 coming out, doing tickle damage to the 2 people who matter, and the ninja getting, triple digits. 6 hits, 220 from that Vorpal, 3 hits, 70 damage, nuclear!
Oh, Problem City.
Yeah, this could be problematic.
Hey, well, Chanigan's through Lich.
And I looked away, I didn't see that.
Neither did I.
Actually getting that Cure 3 off. T-Mat playing nice and not dropping any spells that round. 8 hits, 348, and down goes Tia 2.
What is Chanigan doing?
Burning off encounters before the seafloor.
But Chanigan doesn't know the horrors of the seafloor yet.
It's the seafloor. Always expect garbage. Alright, and she's going to be pulling up to Chaos. First swing at 108, 40-ish, I'm assuming, after he finishes. Let's call it 108.45. See, Chanigan could have been paying attention to the encounter table and know that he was in that spot where it's just encounter, 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 encounter.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Alright, so we've got Roostic coming out, we got an Invis 2, we've got a swing by the Ninja, 3 hits, 246. Bonk does his job, takes a punch. 1 evade stack on the Ninja, 3 evade stacks on the Knight, and, well, brain just kind of melted on me there. 3 hits for 3 damage that, 4 hits for 70, and then the fast coming out.
Yeah. Also, isn't the Ninja technically also at 3 stacks due to the 80 agility?
Yeah, that's inherent. I'm just counting the actual stacks applied. Alright, Thunder out of Chaos. Almost dropping the Ninja, but not quite doing enough. Temper on that Knight, because gotta get that sword to do a little bit more damage. Swirl! Down goes the Ninja, 79, and down goes the Red Mage. This could be a problem for Cheese here.
Yeah, this could be.
Alright, Chaos is already missing though, but this... Ooh... Well, it's a good thing that Knight was wearing a ribbon, and 2 hits, 2 damage. Fire 3 for 30. 3 hits, 188. High damage swings. Oh,
oh no. There's Cure 4. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh, and we see that on Chanigan's side, his Red Mage has been dropped, and we got that 2 for 2. And Fire 3 for 30. And 478. 3 for 162, swing and a miss by Chaos. This is going to be getting close to the line here. But if Chaos cycles through his skills and spells before he gets dropped again, that's going to be a bad time for Cheese.
No, we know how many he's at currently.
Yeah. Oh,
there's a nuke! Oh no!
Yeah.
That's not good.
Alright, Chanigan down to just his fighter and his black belts. But, you know, that black belt does have a whole mass of hit points. But still, no more buffs except for the power bonk, because Chanigan did not pick up the Ruse Stick, didn't even pick up the TNT. Ladies and gentlemen, and, well, those in between and elsewhere, we've got ourselves a race. Going for the cheeky Bane, but we got a punch. 5 hit, 718, still alive. 10 hit, 789, bye, fighter. Fire 2 coming out, doing not much damage. Punch, 5 hit, 689, bye, Kraken 2. Alright, so leaning into those black belt strats seems to have paid off. 10 hits, 448, Quad X. Quad X, really, Tiamat, really. 10 hits, 881, still alive. 946, down goes Tia 2. Best take the time to heal up that black belt there, Chanigan.
Yeah, this could get ugly real quick.
Alright, Saber Bonk coming out. Chaos swings and misses. More Saber. Get those fists harder. Alright, 2 hits, 182. Lightning 2. First swing, 8 hits, 1166. Fire 3 coming out. We know that Cure 4 is going to be coming up on that next spell list. 10 hits, 1300. Cure 4, everything is wiped back out. 7 hits, 1268.
Oh, it's going to take much longer. Oh, that's right.
10 hits, 852. We are at about 2000 damage. 2100. Fire 3 coming out. Not much damage again. Swing, 10 hits, 577. Still alive. 8 hits, 925. Get your GGs out in chat for Chanigan. Wow. Finishing this race up at 112.38. GGs. And with that, Cheezinator has forfeited as well. I do not blame him on that because this Topher was rude.
Oh, very rude. See, this is where all the rudeness was. You stacked it all in the Topher.
Yeah. And we should be having the runners joining us here in chat very shortly. Speak the devil, there is Chanigan. GG's, hello. Chanigan.
Thank you. Oh boy. That chaos, eh?
Yeah. Well, it also had nuclear and nuke.
Jesus.
And I think it had swirl. Had blaze.
It had things. It
had hurt. That's pretty much why Cheese forfeited immediately, because he had a rough go of things in Topher. He was actually in Topher like before you were done grinding.
Mm-hmm.
And he had gotten down to Kraken 2, who then did Kraken 2 things.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Kraken 2 was punchy.
Very much so. And we are joined in the chat by Cheezinator as well. GG's, Cheese.
GG's.
Sorry for how dirty Topher did ya.
Yeah, GG, Chanigan. You should talk to him first. I'm still upset.
That's fine. We were, I figured we'd just go back and forth on things, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Chanigan, you were, quite a bit further behind, but apparently the black belt strats did pay out for you.
My beginning was awful. I knew as soon as the seed started, I was behind. I think 1 or 2 wipes in ice, then volcano, then I think 1 in Mars, something like that. Like, my beginning was awful, dying left and right, and just walking instead. Didn't have a choice to walk, but it was awful.
Well, to be fair, Marsh was rude to both of you, kinda, because those bones and our bones, which I don't know if you saw, but the bones had thunder, our bones had crack.
Okay, yeah, I only saw the thunder bones.
I saw the crack come out. I think I survived it and got out okay. Like, my black belt and red mage survived. I got the incentive and then exited.
Oh, yes. You did actually manage to get away from those horrible, horrible beasts.
And me figuring out the the encounter table in Ice Cave just to get to the chest, then exit out without any encounters. Oh, that felt good.
Well, and you paying attention to the encounter table and burning off those encounters
Yeah.
on the fire floor was pretty
Yeah,
pivotal because
I miscounted.
the fact that you
this-
only ran into one of those unrunnable
Mhm.
seafood party packs, yeah, that
Yeah.
paid off pretty well for you because
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah, my first dive through Topher, I got every single unrunnable on the floors where the pack with the encounter clusters were, and on the seafloor, I killed like 4 or 5 of them or something. I got a crap ton of levels, and then like all that was just sunk down the toilet when I took my first wipe to Kraken.
Yeah, though
Yeah.
at least you did stop and get that TNT so you could go get that ruse stick because
Right.
that ruse stick was putting in work for you there.
Yeah, the ruse stick could have put me over the hump. It's basically all the things I did wrong. If I just had those things the first time, it was like if I had the ruse stick the first dive, if I did the fast on Chaos the first time that I faced him. Of course, I didn't get to face Chaos again, but you know what I'm saying. Like there were very, very obvious play mistakes if I just took like an extra 5 seconds to think. But I felt like I was under so much pressure because to me, the early game seemed relatively straightforward. Like early floater, go mode came without doing any side dungeons, basically. So I thought, okay, well, Chanigan has all these options that I have. He could be hot on my heels, or he could have like taken a really solid black belt grind or something. Like I need to win this dive, so I was playing more aggressively, and that was not the way to go.
Yeah, well, and the fact that that Kraken 2 was really evasive was that was not playing well for you, unfortunately.
Yeah, did I miss like a lock spell? I didn't check level 5 black. I don't know if maybe there was a lock spell there.
I don't think there was one.
Level 5 black slot 2 had lock 1.
Okay, yeah, that's not the kind of thing I would have gone like back to Melmond for, but it's worth noting.
Yeah, that crack ain't chaos or just rude.
Yeah, the God, there's so much to say about this because there was a lot of interesting stuff happening, and I had a very clear choice pivot. Right when I was in Sky, like I could have said, okay, well, let's exit right now, life the black belt, and start grinding the black belt on these Agamas. But I had this katana in hand. I had all this promoted gear. I was like, but you know, a katana thief plus a Vorpal knight, that's 2 solid melees.
Yeah,
I thought if I just got a couple levels on those, maybe that would be enough.
the thing I did is I downed the thief, and it was stuck at what, level 11, I think, and so that katana was pretty much useless for me. And Vorpal, I don't know, I don't like Vorpal. I'm not on Team Vorpal, so
I can't blame you on that one.
yeah.
I don't mind it with
that's-
level 1 temper, right? We had level 1
Yeah,
temper.
level 1 temper was nice, but no lock. That hurt. So in case something was evasive, like you said, Kraken 2 was evasive. I saw nothing. I saw nothing, but yeah.
I think it was the combination of a bunch of things. Plus, like, I had all the defensive gear. I had 2 ribbons already, and I was in go mode. So, like, just doing a walking grind, and it paid off in terms of time. Doing a walking grind, I was, like, deep into Topher by 55 minutes or something. Like, I could have set a personal best, theoretically, on this if I played better.
Yeah, it went a little bit painfully for you, unfortunately. But yeah, so I will fully admit, I was also wondering why you were sticking with the black belt strats there, Chanigan, because you had all that good gear, you had the tail. I was like, all right, Chanigan, why are you still working the black belt? The grind is late. It's really late.
It's really late, but it paid off. But yeah, I didn't like my weapons. That's pretty much why. Like I said, I hate the Vorpal sword. It's in my opinion, it's not a good weapon.
Yeah,
I can agree with that. It's too
random, and I hate random.
I think it was a mistake. It was a mistake for me to all in on it without the saber gauntlet in hand. That's really the key difference, right? If I had even like 2 more sabers or something. Like any amount of extra damage on my last fight, I would have gotten through chaos in time. But I was sitting there with a single temper stack and no fast.
Yeah, the saber gauntlet was in ordeals. And
Yeah.
the third ribbon was in Waterfall, which the robot had the ruby, so...
That's actually funny. I mean, I was never going to go there, but like having 3 ribbons would have made a difference for this party because stuff like damage poison and thunder and whatever kept knocking out my ninja, who's otherwise supposed to be this like evasive little dodgy guy.
Yeah, I had all 3 of them, and yeah, they were very useful against all the in the Earth Cave against the Lightning 2 images.
Oh, that was the other thing, Earth Cave, right? So I, because I lost the sort of couple of fights, the little mini grind I did on the left there, trying to check out the tiles, I ended up forgetting that I needed to house, and so I went down there with like 3 AoE charges and got stuck in all these unrunnable, massive packs of enemies, and just meleeing them down with the fighter one at a time. Like my Earth Cave took 10 minutes or something.
I wonder what was going on with that. That suddenly explains it.
Yeah, that really does explain that.
Wow. Yeah, that's 3 actually big mistakes. That one was just like a time cost. That was maybe 5 minutes of time, but it sucks to like practice for 2 months on qualifiers, think like you got the flags on lock, and then go into your first like hype 1v1 and then just play like I did. Oh god.
Well, that being said, I mean, you also picked a mostly melee party against Chanigan, who had practice with that recently.
Yep.
Well, no, that was on purpose. So I watched the game versus Dark
Darktide.
Yeah, Darktide. I watched that match, and I was figuring out how Chanigan was handling the mostly or all melee and stuff. And then I saw last night, and I saw how he played with Black Belt Fighter as sort of a choice again. And tonight I was trying to either get mostly melees on purpose or squeeze the Black Belt pick out so that he wouldn't take it. But you still took it last pick, and I was like, oh crap. Because I really didn't want you to have the option. I wanted us to be on the same footing. That's why I tried to draft, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I like the Black Belt. it's not like
I do too.
It's my safe. Like it's my go-to if I'm not sure I'm gonna win with a fighter comp.
Yeah,
and I like having options. Just like in this case, just relying on ninja and fighter. I'm like, weapon in case weapons isn't that great or chaos is just absolute garbage, or Temple of Fiend, or if I don't have armor, no ribbons, and it's too many variables, and that's why I go Black Belt. Is just you just level up and punch, and that's it. You don't need fast, you don't need lock, you don't need temper. You just all day and pray.
Yeah, and it's weird because I think most people who know me also know me as a Black Belt player, but I'm never like sacrosanct, like I must worship the Black Belt. I'm always trying to play the melees off each other to get an edge, and in this case I thought, oh man, like I have to pick the faster option here. Chanigan's too good for me to sit around and grind to 42. You don't do that against like another top 10 runner or whatever.
Yeah, I was going fighter comp at the beginning until the Agama tile in Sky.
I guess the Agama was kind of late.
Yeah, it was very late, and at least they didn't have a lot of HP, like 140 something, so it was done. Like, I started my grind at what, level 18, I think? I was level 18 at 50 minutes. So I took my grind, beat Tia 1, then just went straight to Temple of Fiend.
Yeah, man, so many regrets. I guess I have to just try and go 2-1 and do my best, but now I've, thrown my bracket seating and stuff. But you're 3-0 now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess all this to say, you raced 1 qualifier, which kind of means the qualifiers were meaningless.
Yeah, I raced 2 qualifiers.
Oh, 2, okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to play too much because I had the Time Spinner and the FFR AP tournament.
Oh yeah, how'd you do in that?
I finished second. It was
Congrats.
fun. Thank you. But yeah, I didn't want to play too much FFR. Like I said, my mind was in another game, and I think my bases are pretty good, so I can stop playing for a few weeks and just pick it up and be at least decent.
Yep. Well, cool. I think we've maybe been gabbing for a while. I don't know if there's another race coming up on SpeedGaming, but I don't want to keep the casters here forever.
Yeah, I was just about to go around for final thoughts on her. So, Chanigan, got some final thoughts or not?
Yeah, GG Cheese. Not gonna lie, I was lucky. But yeah, I don't know. It's nice being 3-0. 3-0. I wasn't sure I was gonna win a match. Like I said, I almost didn't practice 2 qualifiers and maybe a few seeds here and there. But yeah, thank you guys for commentating, restreaming. Thank you SpeedGaming, and yeah, thank you guys for watching.
All right, and Cheese, toss it on over to you.
Yeah, GG Chanigan. This race, yeah, did not go as I expected. I'm happy mostly with the first, 50 or so minutes of how I played, give or take. I felt good about my pace. This does demonstrate that if I play precisely, if I don't make a couple critical wrong decisions, that I can play with the best. But I still kind of look up to that echelon of like CC and Spellzap and Deadpulse and Crab Cakes. I said Crab Cakes twice. That's how good she is. And I still look up and say, wow, like they would take these same ingredients, the same party into this seed, and like they would beat me because they might take the same lines but then execute them better. And it's just like, if I just crisp that out, I have a chance in this tournament. So I've got to get better between now and hopefully brackets, right? It's not even a lock anymore, so fingers crossed.
All right. Well, I have babbled quite a bit this seed, so Shadow, why don't you go ahead and take us on home?
Oh, well, I guess I could. Thank you for SpeedGaming for obviously hosting us for tonight and all of their amazing work they put in, and also thanks to the runners for putting on a good show, as well as Hate for joining me in the commentary booth, as well as clicking all the buttons in the background, because that takes skill that I don't have to do both things at once. And
ADD powers away.
Huh?
Oh, I was just making a smart aleck comment.
And you got anything else you want to say for the end of this?
No, just thanks for joining me in the booth, Shadow. And if you like what you saw, toss the runners a follow. I mean, I think that they deserve it for the race they put on for you tonight. And also, if you're interested in joining the rando or just playing with it in itself, head to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com to gather the information you'll need. And there's a Discord link if you want to join us in Discord as well. As mean as the game is, the community is actually quite nice. We don't bite unless you ask. But with that, I'm going to bid you all a good evening and adieu.